Cat Calls. I am your host, Cat Bine, and this is my show that I do every other Thursday here on twitch.tv/KATBEIN. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, which is where I post all of the episodes of Cat Calls after the fact, then what are you doing? You need to come on down to the real show because Bosh isn't going to just wait for you all day, okay? We gotta make the show happen. Miriam's here, Torden Strike's here, and today's guest is already here. Everybody give a big welcome. Be nice to her. Round of applause. Give it up for Starya. Yes, I am very excited to welcome Starya to the show. I was first exposed to Starya and all of the incredible talents that she holds when I caught her amazing opening set for Justice and Too Many DJs at a Notch party in Los Angeles last summer. Yes, Notch is the man who created Minecraft. I'm actually wearing the wristband right now. I just found it in my makeup drawer when I was getting ready for today, and I was like, that is serendipity, so I'm wearing it. Anyway, he threw this party in a giant dome, and Starya was one of the opening acts for the whole crazy night, and there was all this crazy art on the ceiling of the dome, and she was like in this glittering bodysuit, and she was jumping up onto the booth and singing and playing guitar and just ripping shit, and I was like, I'm sorry, who is this vision? Who is this magical creature that I must know more about? And today is the day we're all going to learn more about Starya. But you know what? When I was preparing for the show, I realized that I've known about Starya for longer than I realized. She released her first single, The Garden, in 2022, but she's actually been around for quite a while. She used to go by a different name, and she released tunes alongside some folks that will sound very familiar to you all if you are regular cat callers. So we're going to dig in. We're going to get the full story of where this galactic music maker truly comes from, where she's going, what it all means, what her favorite sci-fi movies are. I'm stoked, honestly. But I want you all to be nice to her, okay? Because Nice to Her is the name of her latest track, which I'm going to play for you now. Lyrically, it's not actually about being that nice to anybody. But that doesn't mean that it's not nice to listen to, okay? It's really fun to listen to. So stay tuned, listen to Nice to Her, and when we come back, I hope you've got your questions ready because Starya will be on the line, and this is your show as much as it is my show, and you're here to ask the questions that count, and I'm here to get the answers, and we're all here to have a party with Starya and be nice to her. And just like that, as if by magic, Starya has entered the chat. Yay!
Hello.
Starya, where are you? It's such a wonderful, colorful, exciting place full of goodies and magic.
This is my studio. This is where I love to be all the time if I can.
Your happy place.
Yeah.
It's not something that your loyal viewers haven't seen before because you're actually quite an active Twitcher yourself. But this is a new angle, right?
This is, well, I was just using this angle.
Oh, you were?
Maybe it looks different a little bit.
It wasn't slapped into my own colorful bonanza. Yeah, exactly.
It's an extra special angle.
When I was checking you out earlier, it seems like you have a much closer view of yourself, but
yeah, I kind of crop it and then I show my screen so that people can see Ableton and then the dog sometimes.
Yeah, shout out the dog. Abby.
Yeah.
Is that your dog? Shout out Abby. What were you working on today over on Twitch before you came and joined it and raided?
I'm actually working on this collab with Baby Weight. Do you know Baby Weight?
I fucking love Baby Weight. Yeah, we love Baby Weight at Cat Calls. Actually, she's the only guest on Cat Calls to ever double yet. Like, she's the only returning guest. First of all, words. Second of all, Baby Weight is fantastic. And I think it's going to be a tradition where at the end of Cat Calls every year, I'm just going to have Baby Weight be the last guest. So
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, you know, we were saying we should maybe just have some guests stop by, so maybe you can come join us for this year's.
I would love to. It's like, actually, it's such a cute, I love the whole thing around this collab because I just was streaming and I've like met Baby Wait a few times. We kind of like know some of the same people. I think she's really cool.
Yeah.
I sent her like a cold call email once before I'd even met her, like being like, can I send you a song for your collab or for your, what's it called? Compilation.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing a compilation and just had never met her. And then we kind of met each other, like got to know each other a little bit better. And then I was just streaming production and she pops into the chat and she's like, hey, do you want to like work on this thing? And she sends me a file that's like, something that she started. And then I started working on it there, like right then. And I think I streamed for like 7 hours that day.
Wow.
And like we just worked on this track. We were going back and forth with like lyrics and I was putting vocals on it and I was like changing some of the bass and changing some of the production on it. And then like that happened a couple times and I haven't opened it since the end of January. I think the last time we did that was the end of January. And then she popped in today because I was like, I'm going to do a quick stream. I had just like started an empty project. It always happens where I'm like, okay, I'm going to start this thing. And then she pops in, she's like, hey, what about that collab? And then I'll just jump in there. And so that was really fun.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I love that. Shout out Twitch for bringing people together, for making music happen.
Yeah, and it's so cute. I love it.
She's great. Let's also, everyone, chat, us, two of us together, Life the Universe and everything. Let's manifest Baby Wait jumping into our chat because that would be great. I love when she does that over on this channel too.
Yeah, she might. I know she was about to, it sounded like she was about to take off somewhere, but she might have been part of the raid. I don't know.
Oh, well, I would be shocked if she was watching and she didn't chat at all. Maybe she's busy driving. Maybe she's on her way. I'm fucking impressed with this action right now. You just pulled up like a whole office like jug of water.
My jug, my buddy.
Is that, how many gallons is that?
I think it's just one.
It's just one. Okay. You know what?
Yeah.
It might be the angle of the camera as well. It makes it look even larger than I've seen a few of those. I think I once had a gallon jug, because it is important that you stay hydrated. And I've got my handy dandy bottle, but it's nowhere near as impressive when I drink this. Yeah. We need to get you some stickers for your giant jug, though.
That's true. It makes me feel safe to have it.
It's true.
As I don't, it's gonna last.
It's true. That's true. You're prepping, is what you're telling me.
I love water. I drink way too much water.
There's no such. There is such a thing, actually. You can drink too much water, but not in that jug. That jug is just right. Okay. Wonderful start. I'm glad you brought up Baby Wait though, because Baby Wait, I know, is really pushing and exploring more of this musical realm that blends her roots in this kind of like indie space and the Riot Girl space. And I'm pretty sure that you share some of that same roots. You got started in music playing in bands. Talk to me, A, is this track you're working on Baby Wait with, does it tap into those things as well? And B, talk to me about your rock girl roots a little bit.
I don't know if it taps. I guess I don't know. Maybe in the same way that everything I do kind of does. But like I can't think directly to how this collab like really does. I'm singing a bunch on it. I think mainly I just love how like Baby Wait's very open-minded about. I don't know. I feel like she has a lot of different things going on in her music, and it's like very unique, and I really like that because I don't want to feel like I'm in a box sometimes.
Totally. Yeah.
And so I think in that way, like it's nice. I like grabbing influences from everywhere, and not just like trying to make something very specific all the time. Mm-hmm. Although I feel like sometimes I should because I'd probably be a lot more efficient, but she's so prolific. And we were just talking about it. She was like telling me all of these things that she has coming out and like how she has an extra 30 tracks. I'm like, it takes me so long to make anything. Anyway, sorry, tangent.
No, it's all good. I'm here for the tangents. If you ever see a tangent you want to go down, just take it. You don't have to ask my permission. Just go for it.
She's so quick, and yeah, I love that. But yeah, as far as like the band roots, yeah, I guess just like kind of exploring different sounds and like I'm very influenced by like not just electronic music. So I feel like I don't always know if I'm doing the right thing when I'm making like I'm trying to make like a tech house track and there's like some weird vocals that remind me of like a folk song and I'm like, is this gonna be okay? I don't know. Like, what is this genre? I like don't even know what to call it sometimes. So I guess it makes me a little nervous, but it's also I can't help it because like you said, yeah, I grew up in that world and I like so many different kinds of music and
Yeah.
I love like Cat Power and like Muse. Like Muse was my favorite band forever. I would still say maybe they're even still my favorite band. I just love them so much. Yeah, like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Love the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Karen O is just absolutely one of my all-time icons. Like one of those pop culture representatives that you see and you head in that direction. You know what I mean? You're like, wait, that's
Yeah.
who I want to be. Whoever that is, that looks great. You
Yeah,
should. What
totally.
what was the name of your first band and what role did you play in the band?
Um, I guess it was Lulu and the Guitarfish, or the Guitarfish was the band that
I
I
love
was in
that.
high school.
I love that. How old were you when you were in this band?
I think I was 15.
Perfect. Perfect age to be in a band
Yeah.
called Lulu and the Guitar Fish. Were
Yeah.
you a guitar fish? Or were
I
you
I guess I was a guitar fish at one point. I started off playing rhythm guitar
Oh,
and
cool.
then I switched to bass, which I enjoyed a lot more, but I think
Yeah.
that playing in the band like definitely made me way better at the instrument and it made me way better at guitar and then better at the bass. And it was yeah. I enjoyed playing the bass more because I felt like I could play around more and
Mm-hmm.
I just love the bass. You know, maybe that's a precursor.
True, yeah.
Foreshadowing.
I know. Bass is pretty key to this. The whole
Yeah.
rhythm section in general, honestly. Like if you can get a groove going, you're you're pretty
Yeah.
much set. Um, did you play shows with Lulu and the Guitar Fish?
Yeah, we did. We were in SF, and so we played
Oh,
in SF.
fun. Is that where you're from?
Yeah.
Oh, rad. Okay, cool. I was living there for a couple years during the pandemic, all things
Ah.
said. So it's not like I can really claim living there very much, but I did physically pay rent for a room in the Bay Area. But I spent a lot of time there too. How was it growing up in the Bay? I mean, it's got a long storied history with the hippie scene and just people being weirdos in general, the queer scene. How was that in the 90s? I guess it was also like you were kind of growing up in the middle of the tech boom.
Yeah, I was there from when I was 10 until when I was 18. And so I actually got there like right as the 2000s started.
Oh, wow. Just in time for, wait, what crap? All of a sudden I can't remember what it's called. Y2K.
Yeah. Exactly. Right before that, I lived like way up in Northern California, like in the country.
Oh, wow.
Like just deep in the middle of the woods, basically.
That's awesome. I could see that influence. Steve Windows, you were an
Oh my
SF
God.
weirdo too?
Is that the Steve Windows that I actually lived with for a year in SF?
I hope so. Steve Windows, tell us a story about what it's like to be roommates with Starya.
That's actually really fun. Actually, well, so Steve Windows is so I grew up with my mom mostly, like I lived with her, and then our really close friends, like her best friend, her husband is Steve Windows, and then her daughter is like a couple of years older than me. She's kind of like we've known each other since we were babies, and she's like a sister to me.
I love
So
yeah.
when I was like 10, they lived with us in San Francisco, and it's actually really funny because he's here because I heard you were talking about I think you were talking about like how people started out in electronic music.
Yes.
And I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and it involves Steve Windows.
Steve.
Because when I was like 11, I'm pretty sure Steve Windows gave me a CD that had like Sandstorm on it.
Booga booga ba.
And I think there was like a few other electronic music songs. There was like not like some real 90s,
I
like,
love that
I
whole
don't know.
era, like like Kernkraft 4000, Zombie Nation style, like Alice DJ,
Yeah.
Better Off Alone type stuff.
I'm pretty sure it's a very vague memory because I don't have a very good memory and I was very small, but like I think that was the first time I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then
Yeah.
like I think I lost the CD and completely forgot about electronic music for like 8 years straight, like completely.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
that CD like was I think the first time I was like, wow, like I was obsessed with that CD. I kept listening to it over and over again. Just Sandstorm on repeat.
Yes. Well, listen, I'm still listening to Sandstorm on repeat, so I'm right there with you. I remember being a kid and watching music videos late at night, and that one coming on in particular, and of course, Better Off Alone. That's really awesome that you told that story, because before you even started telling that story, Steve was saying in the chat that he drove you crazy with the music he played. So, I mean, little did you know, Steve, that you were opening a window to the future for Alina here. No, that's rad. How was it living with like your friends and as a kid? That seems like it's kind of fun. Was it fun? Or
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like, it's great. I loved being around people
yeah.
as a kid because also, like, when I lived up in the woods, it was kind of lonesome.
Mm.
It was
Yeah.
like me and my mom just in the deep woods
Wow.
alone for a little while. And then sometimes we'd like live with friends and I'd be like, this is fun. Let's just like party. And
Wow,
yeah.
that's so cool though. Growing up in the woods too, that makes me think about the album artwork that you put together for songs like The Garden and even the Find the Key EP. Like it just has such a ethereal fantasy land vibe to it. Like you're in Middle Earth or something. So maybe that's just
Oh,
your
yeah.
vibe. That's just your vibe. You grew up in the
I
woods.
love it. I love the woods. I need like a woodland injection into my bloodstream like once a year at least.
Yeah. Do you have like
Honestly, everyone should have one, but yeah.
Are you like particularly fond of certain woods that you visited in the world? Have you visited many woods in the world, or do you stick with California mainly?
Some woods. I'd say mostly California. Just I've always lived in California. I love Northern California.
Yeah.
Um, and adjacent, but yeah, any woods are good woods. Some trees, maybe a little stream. Maybe
Yeah.
some moss.
Like a brook even,
Yeah.
Like if you want to go full stream, just get a brook
A
going.
meadow is perfect. If you can get a little meadow in the woods, and you're in the woods, and suddenly there's a meadow. That's
Yes. Little fairy
that's
circle
kiss.
of mushrooms just for you to dance into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little birds chirping.
Yeah. Doing all your
Maybe-
chores for you if you're lucky. if you're a princess. You moved to Los Angeles in 2008. True.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you're on the stand now. True.
True.
I'm jealous of that because that was the best time for the Bloghouse era, and Los Angeles was just absolutely exploding with it. And in all of the interviews that I've read with you, it sounds like we have that in common. You're a big fan of Justice. You're a big fan of the Ed Banger crew, Boys Noise. What was it like moving to LA at that time? Were you already in this world of electronic music, or were you still in the world of being in bands?
I think I was, I don't know. Right when I moved, like right before I moved, I heard it was like 2007 and I heard the Cross album and I went to the Justice show and I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Same.
And then when I moved to LA, I feel like I just never, like everything was new to me and I was kind of like picking and choosing what I was exploring and I somehow just kind of ended up at warehouse parties and I was like, this is cool. Okay. And it just was like so fascinating to me and so cool. And I loved the energy and I loved the music at those particular parties and they were all playing that kind of music. And I was just like, this is tight. And I wasn't thinking of it at all from a perspective of like, I want to play this or I want to make this because I was just in a completely different mind state then. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to be involved in it and I was trying to be involved in it and I liked the people around it. I liked the friends that I made. It kind of just happened randomly. But I definitely was drawn to that energy like a lot, and really liked the music at those events and stuff, and the experience.
Totally. I mean, I wasn't in Los Angeles at the time. I was in Florida, but I just feel like the whole culture that sprang up around that music it was so, it defied any sort of categorization and rule. It felt very new and fresh, and it felt like something explosive was happening, right? Like, we didn't call it blog house at the time, right? Like, that's like a word that came out later that we all now use. And that was a lot of what I was talking about on that podcast that I mentioned, the XU podcast, about like, that's what I thought was so exciting about it. It was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to call this. What do we call this? I don't know.
Yeah. I remember calling it electro.
Yeah.
And now I think electro is like, it's like it doesn't mean the same thing anymore.
Yeah, totally. I called it electro too as well. I was just like, oh, I don't know, French electro, whether it's from France or not. So it must have been really exciting when you got the call to open or play that Dome show in LA that I saw you at with Justice and Too Many DJs. Your set was incredible.
Thank you.
I loved it. Talk to me about how that experience was for you. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely very surreal. It was like everything I'd ever dreamed of happening. And yeah, it was great. I felt like it just like went by, and then it was over, and then on to the next, I guess. I don't even know, like, I never really know how things go. I just try to like be really excited in the moment. I'm like, it was fun because I had a great time.
It was. You were having a great time. I was having a great time. Like I said, that was really my first exposure to the Starya project, and you just left such an impression on me because, kind of going back to what you were saying about when you're making music and sometimes you think to yourself, oh, should I be sticking to one sound, or is it weird that I put this like folk vocal over what might be a tech house beat? But like, you stood out to me because you weren't doing what most people do when they're just like DJing, right? Like, you were jumping up onto the booth, not to just jump on the booth, but to like sing, and you were playing guitar, and you were very clearly bringing something with more stage presence and more of actually like a voice and a perspective. And that whole set was your own original material.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really, really cool. But then I was doing my research while I was getting ready to chat with you today, and I realized that wasn't the first time that I had ever heard of you, because you used to go by the name Tough Ghost, and it's not a secret. It's not something that you hide from the world, but it's just something I realized while I was researching. And you put out tracks with at least one cold with my boy Kevin Durante.
Oh, yeah.
I went to college with him back when I was discovering all of this stuff. And you did a bunch of remixes for Miha. Was that like the first project that you came out with in the electronic music space?
Yeah, that was like, honestly, it was my Instagram handle.
Oh, nice.
I started to DJ, and I was like playing with different DJ names, and I just started using that as my DJ name. And that's actually, I don't know if you're familiar with the unicorns.
The unicorns? Yes. Who will cut our hair when we're gone?
Oh God. Yeah. So that was one of my favorite bands in high school. Like, I just love the unicorns.
Oh my God. I love it.
They're so special to me. But that name was kind of just like, I was like, yeah, I'll just use this name, and I just started doing stuff, and I started like a saga of trying to learn how to produce and trying to start putting stuff out and just getting DJ gigs and just doing it. And I was like, kind of like, yeah, this works. I'll just use this name. And then eventually I was like, I don't really want my name to be like, okay, that just happened. I wanted it to be a little bit more intentional. So that's why I changed it. There was a few reasons, but I guess that was the main thing I started releasing stuff in under.
It's exciting. How did it feel to go from being someone who was in bands to being someone who was just standing up there on your own and doing your own thing? Was that quite the adjustment, or did it feel like suddenly you were unchained?
It's weird. I mean, I don't know. Like, I love bands. I love collaborating with people. I also like control.
Yeah. Fair. A woman with a vision. I like it.
And like, yeah, I don't know. It felt good. I feel like I've been performing for a while, so it didn't feel that weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I love performing, so it was great, and it was great to have. I love being in like a cool venue, a cool space, a cool crowd. Playing my own songs was really cool because I've been performing a lot DJing, and it was kind of my goal over the years of like having focused on DJing to get to the point where I could play my own songs.
Absolutely.
And so that was like a big milestone for me to do that.
Yeah.
And for Justice to be there.
I know, right? I hope they were listening because you were jamming, you were fucking bringing it. I had a thought, and then I lost it. So
It happens.
there you go. Dang, it was a really good thought. I really wanted to ask you. Torten Strike was listening. That's all that matters. Okay, well, following up on my not thought, talk to me about the evolution into Starya. So Tough Ghost is something that you just had because you were a giant Unicorns fan, as one should be, and then you wanted to give it something more purpose, something that came from an idea that you wanted to stand behind. So where did Starya, how was she born?
I kind of like knew that the name had been like itching me a little bit for a while. It was kind of like one of those things where it's like, it doesn't feel quite right. And then I was like at a Bjork concert with Molly Hankins.
Hey, shout out Molly! And shout out Bjork. I know Torten Strike just saw Bjork at Coachella, said it was amazing.
And I think I was just so inspired by what she did. I was like, okay, first of all, this was the show that she did right as the pandemic was kind of like ending in LA.
Oh, nice,
and I have
yeah.
I have never seen LA come out like to the nines as that show ever. It was like everybody for the past 3 years had been saving up like to wear the best outfit that they've ever worn in their life.
And it's Bjork, so yeah.
Yeah. And it was just insane. And she was just like, she's just so weird. And she has all this weird stuff going on and like so creative, and everyone is just so into it. And I'm like, wow, that's what I want. Like, I want to be able to like express myself fully, and I want to be like an artist. I want to be able to do that. I don't want to just like people like I'm just the DJ. I'm just like, and that's what the name felt to me like. Like the name Tough Ghost felt more like DJ Tough Ghost, like you know?
Yeah, dark warehouse after party, like yeah.
And like I don't know, I think I was just sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, I just need a name that fulfills a few more check boxes. Like I wanted it to be like I wanted it to be kind of feminine. I wanted it to like just sound cool. I wanted it to evoke imagery.
Yeah.
And like star.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of like brainwash people a little bit. Like,
yes.
subconsciously. I want people to hear it and be like, oh, that must be like the star.
Yeah, that's the star. Yeah, that's it.
I wanted it to sound like a person, like not like a robot possibly. You
right,
know, like,
yeah.
I wanted it to kind of sound like it's a name of someone.
Totally.
And it's kind of sparkly and just be like really simple. And so I just like came up with that. I was like, you know what? I just have to do it right now. Like I couldn't think of anything for for like 2 weeks, I just like pondered the
wow.
name, and I like talked to different people. I wrote down like a mega list of like every possible name.
So we
And,
need
like,
to know a couple that didn't make the cut. What were you
oh God,
almost?
do you really want to know?
I do. And while you're looking it up, I want you to know that Susan, Karina's mom, Steve told her you were on, so she took the computer to hear what we're all saying. And she says it's
Aw.
cool. Thanks, Susan. Happy to
Oh,
have
man.
you and Steve here.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell. Here's a couple. Cute dog.
Oh my gosh, stop. Cute dog. Here's a cute dog.
When you're brainstorming names, there's some weird stuff that happens. Balboa. Actually,
Ooh.
I considered Balboa because I lived on the street Balboa, and I like that name.
It
I
is
think it's a cool
nice.
word.
And listen, cute dog is a great name too. If people saw cute dog on a lineup on like a festival flyer, they'd have to go see the. But then they might be a little disappointed if you weren't a dog. You know, like they'd want to see the
like
cute dog.
It's like putting free beer on the flyer, and
Yes!
that's the name of the band. Basil, I think.
Basil, I like that too.
Here's like a little more pretentious, Rare Darling.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, that sounds like something that could be on like PC Music. Like that's like Hannah Diamond starring Rare Darling.
Lover.
Ooh, love it with an A at the end, with like an AH.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote down a lot of words.
I love it. I think I do want to just like say I think you landed on the best one. Starya definitely like I think evokes everything you were searching for, but I'm so glad that you kept that list handy and that we got to hear that you were
I have a lot of
almost
lists.
cute dog or Basil. Basil would be a great name for a cute dog. I'm just going to go out there and say.
Totally. Yeah.
Incredible. Okay, so I also read that Bonch agrees. Starya fits you very well, and it does. It does sound like it sounds like a cool cartoon character that I'd want to like watch take over the world. You know.
I'm glad to hear that. I still like it's so hard to. I can't wrap my name or I can't wrap my head around it sometimes of like thinking about what if it's the right thing. Like I'd rather not think about it.
No, commit. You're fully committed. Let's
I'm
go.
committed either way. Like it doesn't matter what I think anymore at this point.
Exactly. You belong to the world now.
Yeah.
You're a star.
I'm not doing that again. That took too much energy to change it and
and I love the sound that you're creating as Starya as well. Like I do sense, and when I hear it, there is a femininity to it, but there is also this like edginess to pretty much every track you've put out. I don't know if it's just because of the synth sounds that you're using, which you're surrounded by synthesizers. I guess you're a pretty... Do you do a lot of analog work, or are you a big in-the-box producer?
Nothing's plugged in.
Yeah, right.
Well,
those trolls.
I started off I started really in the box because I had a much smaller space to work with, and I just went straight in the box. And then when I moved here, I was like, I have a little bit more space. I want to explore that a little bit more. Some of the analog stuff, running stuff through like out into the world. And just more synthesizers.
I love it. You can never have too many.
Yeah, it's like toys to play with. Try to get some creative energy flowing, and so I've been experimenting with that lately, and that's been really fun for sure.
When you and I had our practice call, you pointed one out in particular. You said it was your favorite. Which one was that?
Yeah.
Why is it your favorite?
This guy's the best right here. This is the OP1. Guess I can actually unplug it. That's the OP1. It's so cute.
It is so cute.
It's like a toy. It fits in your hand, but it does everything. It does like more than anything else. Like
wow.
It's basically like you can make a whole song on this. It has a 4-track tape machine.
Oh, nice. That's sick.
It has like synth engines and drum machines. It has like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just endless and it's just cute. That's really why, I guess.
Is it one of your newer pieces?
No, actually, this I think I've had maybe the longest.
Oh, wow.
I've I had wanted one of these for a very long time, and like yeah, the company that makes it's very cool. They're called Teenage Engineering. They also
cool.
made this one. This is the OPZ.
Oh, cool.
Even tinier and
Yeah.
does maybe even more things.
I love this inverse relationship of size and capability. It's really great. Way to go, Teenage Engineering.
Yeah. They're cool because like I feel like a lot of the synth companies like Roland and like these big ones, they're kind of modeling after kind of an old way of thinking, like they're modeling off of like old analog synths that have been around since the 80s and whatever. And so they don't always do everything that really, I feel like if you're designing something new, like you're like, why not just add all these features? Because this is useful. And they're kind of just, you know, they're kind of stuck in their ways a little bit, but Teenage Engineering is cool because they're just like, we're going to add everything and more. Like, won't even know what to do with how many things this thing can do. Like, every knob does like 100 different things depending on where you are.
That's so cool. I mean, that just makes it even more fun to explore, and like the possibilities are endless. Like,
yeah.
No wonder
like
you.
One,
yeah.
You can send video content out of
Get out of here.
What's happening? You can run a whole VJ show on this while you're playing the entire set on
That's
this.
sick.
Like, crazy.
That's sick. Have you played around with that feature?
I've just not really.
Yeah. You'll get there.
A little. There's so much to do.
I know. You know, I read in a couple interviews too, you shouted out particularly that you do hope to one day get to a point where you can put a crazy stage production together, specifically name dropping like the Pyramid from Daft Punk and the Marshall amps from Justice and Dead Mouse in his cube. So have you given some thought to what Starya's stage production signature would be? Do you fantasize about what the universe would be that you'd create on stage?
I haven't given a ton of thought to it because I'm like that's a whole road to go down that I don't feel like I could pull off yet. So I'm like, I'm just gonna save that thinking till later. But there's definitely like stage productions that I love, and there is. So I DJ'd this forest party that my friends throw.
Sick.
And it was so cool. We were like deep in the woods, and my friend made this like laser. Well, he had a laser projector, and then he made like a controller for it, and he projected it. I brought the CDJs out to the middle of the woods and we set them up, which oh god, I just love that.
Yeah, that's hitting you in your wood rave like.
Yeah, and he took the laser and he pointed it at the trees behind the DJ setup, and it was just the coolest thing to have the laser projected onto the trees. And then he had this one look that was like a crazy like space robot lady, and she was just like going like that, and she was just looking so cool. And she was projected on the trees, very simple, just like bright white like lines on the trees. And then if you look at it from the side, if you were like in another area of the woods, all these lasers would be going through the trees.
That's so sick.
And it was crazy. It was like a sparkle explosion. And I was like, how do we put that on the stage? Like, I need like a forest.
Yes.
On stage, and then to put the.
Yes. I'm gonna manifest this for you because I want to come to your forest rave on a stage. I want to see that shit happen.
So, I love the simple concepts too, and lasers really. A lot of lasers.
Lasers are extremely efficient. I feel like for a while we kind of got away from them. You know, we got really overwhelmed with this like bigger is better mentality. You know, Daft Punk did the Pyramid, and then everyone wanted to have a crazy over the top stage production. But if you've just got a few good lasers and a good sound system, like you can pretty much blow anyone's mind that you want. Like, maybe a fog machine or just like a cryo gun. You've got a party.
Maybe some flames.
Oh. Some flames as well, yeah. Well, I want to talk about your Find the Key EP as well. That was the first time that you put out. I mean, the Starya project altogether is relatively new. It's really only been since 2000 last year.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's exciting.
It's been about like exactly a year since I changed the name. Well, a year and a couple months, I think.
When you were making The Garden, were you making it to be a Starya track, or were you already working on some of these songs but going by Tough Ghost?
I was not working on them. Like I made all of those songs in 2020, pretty much.
During lockdown
Like
and
the
stuff.
Garden, like there was a batch of songs where it was The Garden, Manipulator, and Find the Key are like the older ones that I put those out. I put The Garden and Manipulator out first, and then they Find the Key for the EP. And so the other songs, I think I was already Starya maybe, but those three I made fully like in pandemic land.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't remember even having a plan for that.
What would have been the use of a plan? It was lockdown, you know? Like, we didn't even know if tomorrow was coming for a minute there.
Yeah, I think of that kind of as like, that was like my boot camp. Like,
Yeah.
Get your shit together. Boot camp was pandemic because I just like started streaming production and then I was suddenly able to work for like 8 hours in a row.
Yeah,
because I would stream it.
Yeah.
And then there was nothing else to do. So
Yeah.
I would just do that all the time.
Yeah, I know. In a strange way, I was just talking about this with my friend. Like, obviously, it was a terrible time, and we were all really scared, and people lost people that they love, and, you know, things truly changed. But in a way, it offered so many of us an opportunity to change directions and find a way to tap into what we wanted to be doing after that. You know what I mean? Like I started this stream during the lockdown. It afforded you enough time and space to just say, fuck it. I'm Starya now. Like, I'm starting a new chapter. It's almost like a trauma birth, but I hope everyone in the chat also had something that they could, a silver lining they could glean out of the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a really big moment of not having a whole lot of other distractions and really being able to put your head down and get serious about something that you want to make.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that you're still early on in the phases of Starya, the project, but I just get the sense that you can make this such a conceptual project. Is that the way that you hope to approach it? Like, do you hope to focus on things like EPs and albums that tell a story, or do you see yourself following down the single route? I don't know. You seem like you're a storyteller to me.
Yeah, I like stories. I like world building and all of that. But I feel like sometimes it's overwhelming to try and think about it, and I'm already just like, it's producing music is so overwhelming already. I'm just like, I'm just gonna just go in and try and make that and not think about anything else really. And then like when it comes down to the time where I'm like, okay, now I have to create like visuals around this, or I have to like tell people what it's about. Sometimes I just like, I'm like, what is it about? I don't know. And then it like becomes about something afterwards.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm just saying complete nonsense, and then after I'm done making, I'm like, this actually sounds good though. I like it. I don't know what it means. And then like later on, I'll be like, oh, that's what it meant.
Yeah.
I knew the whole time. And then like it, it just kind of happens. But I feel pretty overwhelmed sometimes about thinking about all the other aspects, because like the nature of just like trying to finish a song is just like sometimes so hard and overwhelming to me.
Totally. How do you know when a song's done? How do you manage that? Because I know it's tough for most people. who make music?
I think of, oh, God, I don't know. There's always a lot of time where I spend on it and I don't like make an ending, like finish, be like, okay, decide like this is how the end of the track is. Not even like it's done, like the whole thing's done, but like in terms of the structure of the song, deciding, you're making decisions. You're like, this is the intro, this is the chorus, this is the verse. Like, this is how the song is gonna start, and then you make a decision about how it's gonna end. Usually pretty quickly after I actually bring myself to do that, I can like feel like it's more finalized. But then the real test, I think, is listening to it in like a lot of environments.
Yeah.
And like playing it, in different settings and being like, is this okay? Like, I'll play it like in the background and friends are hanging out and I won't say anything and I'll look around and I'll be like, is anyone like uncomfortable? Like, is this causing anyone pain? Like, or are they kind of like going like this? And I'm like, okay, it's sufficient.
I love that. Just like low key using your friends as testers. They don't even know. They don't even know. How will they know?
Sometimes I tell them very directly though. I'm like, pay attention.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure especially if there's like a part that you're proud of and then you're kind of like, wait, did everyone hear that? Wait, stop everyone. I need you to appreciate. I spent 5 hours making this sound good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you should be even more proud then, and I'm even more impressed that you're already out there doing sets that are just nothing but your original material, because like the Chainsmokers don't even do that, okay? And they play like arena shows and have multiple albums. So I commend you for I guess that's what I mean when I say like I just get a sense of you having a lot of intentionality with the project, because most electronic music artists aren't heading out the gate with a set of their own music, singing, playing guitar, and just taking control of the situation. I think it's rad, and I am excited to watch you continue to do that, and I encourage you to continue to do that.
Aw, thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it.
It's really cool. I mean, you must have songs that aren't released, because if you're playing the whole set in August of last year, or have they all been released now?
Out of those, there's definitely, I think, a couple that aren't. So I'm kind of working on that. I'm actually, to be really honest, I'm kind of like in a weird place where I like feel kind of stuck with all of that.
Yeah. The act of releasing, or something about the making it side?
More like the creative process. Because I spent last year kind of being like, okay, I'm going to define this project. I'm going to take it seriously, and I'm going to release the stuff that I've been sitting on. And that because I had a lot of stuff that I'd been kind of sitting on. And I was like, I need to get this out, and I need to like kind of take the brand a little bit more serious, and like the project a little bit more serious, and try to like get like some opportunities and like try to just be better at
I mean, which it seems like you have done, by the way. Like, nothing about the last year and everything I was checking out from you seems like you haven't been doing that. So, like, you just did a spin
I spent,
set.
Like a lot of, the energy of putting stuff out. Like, I kind of really went full steam ahead on like, I'm just gonna finish like really tidy these up that I've had, and then put them out and like figure out that schedule and do all that stuff and whatever. And then now I'm like kind of back in the studio, really like seriously being like, okay, I just put some stuff out. Now I need to like make my next batch of stuff and finish it. And a lot of the stuff that I have is like, when you're producing, I feel like, and when you're like, I still think of myself as like, I have a lot to learn producing. So stuff that's a year old, I'm like, I don't necessarily resonate with my choices.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And I'm inspired by new things and stuff. So I'm just at a place where I'm like, I don't like anything. Like,
start over, tear it down, rip it up and start again.
it's like, who said it? There's like a quote about how like when you're an artist and you're also a consumer of the arts, there's a gap between
Interesting.
your taste and like the thing that you can make.
Yeah.
And closing that gap is like how you're getting better as an artist. And I did that to a degree to like get all those songs ready to play, and I played them in my set, and it was like whatever. And now it's like boop, back
Just forever playing this like inching caterpillar game.
Yeah, I think so. That might be it. So
That's cool.
I'm trying to I'm trying to not be too hard on myself.
I feel that. I mean, I think we all have a tendency to do that, right? Like, why aren't I here at this place that I feel like I should be? That I, if what I struggle with is often this sentence of like, if you really wanted to, you would do X, Y, Z. But it's like, hey, I'm like a person and I'm tired and I can only do so many things in a day. And so I'm trying to be kind with myself as well. And like, the wild part is always from the outside world. No one sees that part, right? Like they only see the stuff that you've done and are doing, and they don't hear that internal monologue that's like, wait, but that was a weird choice. Why did I do that? Why can't I do this thing that I want to do? Like,
yeah.
But it's because you care that you're going to figure it out at the same time. Like, because it's eating at you, you're going to solve this issue.
Yeah, well, I feel like I've experienced that feeling before in different ways and in different amounts of time of feeling it. And I've realized that, like, it's just part of it. Like, it's just the ups and downs. And I've even talked to people that are, like, really prolific and really, like, I talked to Durante about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, is there ever a time where like you don't sometimes just hate everything? And he was like, no. I was like, do you have this issue? Because I feel like I'm just bad at producing because I have this issue where like sometimes I just feel like I totally suck and I don't know what to do. And he's like, no, that's just like, no, you never escape.
Yeah.
I'm like, great. Just, I think part of the process. So I try to tell myself that, and I think it's necessary. Actually, I think it just is something that happens.
Yeah. It's just like chemically your brain can't stay in the I'm a god phase forever unless, you're Kanye West or something, and then you don't want to do that. So it's a dangerous road. Oh, no, that's awesome. What is inspiring you right now? What are some sounds that you're experimenting with and looking to the future with? What's your mood board?
I'm really inspired by like warehouse parties in
LA.
LA.
Fuck yeah.
And really fast, like 140 BPM, like housey music.
Ooh, a little light speed, Starya.
I never thought I would even like that type of thing, but I'm like, damn, this is fun. I'm like, what's even anything below 130 anymore? Like, I was like in like a 123 BPM mindset for so long, and then I went to 126, and now I'm like, no, I would never go above 130. And now I'm like, that's on the low end. I'm like, these warehouse parties, it's just like, boom, boom, boom,
right?
Boom. Let's go.
It's all about environment too. It's all about environment, You just, if you're in the right space and that something comes on that you just didn't think was for you, all of a sudden you're ahead. You're in it to win it. That's exciting.
Yeah, I like some of that stuff. Some good tracks. Because I'm DJing still a lot.
Yeah.
And I play other people's music, so I'm constantly looking through what's out there, and so I love when there's like, that's what inspires me is when I find some new stuff that I really like.
Yeah. Start tapping on the IP. Wait. OP1. The OP2.
Yeah.
What about Nice to Her? That's your latest track. Was that from the first batch, or is that something that is starting to kind of bridge the gap?
Yeah, that's less old. Probably like I think it was like a year ago, maybe a year and a half. I started that, and yeah, my friend was over, and she brought her friend with her, and he's like a producer, and we were just kind of playing around in the studio. We were all kind of hanging out, and I just like had that idea for the vocal, and I really liked it, so we recorded it right there. And then I sent it to him, and then he sent me back like a track, and then I took his track and I kind of like went crazy with it and like turned it into that version.
I love it. I thought it was great. I also like how it's almost this like celebration of living in your annoyance.
Yeah, it's kind of like just really honestly like saying something that I'm ashamed of sometimes.
Which we need more of, honestly. Honestly, like, let's be real. Like, are you a shady bitch? Like, just do it.
I mean, it's like we have feelings. It doesn't mean we should act on them or that we will.
Yeah, exactly.
They're still there, you know? Like, I definitely only want to be nice. Like,
right.
honestly, I only want to be nice to people, to everybody. But then, like, no matter what you want, you're still sometimes going to feel the opposite.
I love it. What are the lyrics you're playing around with on the Baby Weight collab?
Oh,
are they spicy?
I really like them. There's like a lot of them too.
Cool.
Like, I feel like a lot of my songs lately, I've been really into keeping it super minimal.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I cannot remember. I was just singing them. I was just like putting vocals in.
That's what happens
now. I think it's like, if you wanna sit right, get the feeling right. I fucking can't remember. No.
Well, I don't mean to put you on the spot. Everyone can go back.
Right, getting it tight.
Yeah, get it right. Get it right. Get it tight. Just that.
I can think of the melody. Yeah, it'll be cool.
It will be cool. I have no doubt that the two of you
like
together.
It, actually. It's like actually probably my favorite thing that I'm working on.
Yeah. Well, and maybe you'll finish it quickly because you're working on it with Baby Weight, who's apparently prolific, and maybe we'll get to hear it soon. Well, we can hear it when you work on it on your stream is the reality. We should all tune into your stream and watch it come together in person.
I think it'll be soon. I think actually for once it will be soon.
That's
maybe.
Exciting. Well, we're officially coming up on our hour because that's just how it happens. I blink and it's been a fucking hour. But is there anything else that you want to say or mention about the Starya project, about things that you like, about philosophies of the world, quotes, words of wisdom that you want to share?
I don't feel very wise at this particular moment.
Me neither, so no pressure.
Be nice to yourself.
Yeah, true. Facts. Well, on the way out, I'm going to play the song Clouds, which I also layered with some Aurora Borealis imagery. Because I just thought stars, Aurora Borealis, like, fucking yeah, let's do that.
I love it. It's
but
perfect.
Talk to me about Clouds. Tell us about Clouds.
That was actually the first song I made in the studio, and it was funny because, like, when you have a new place and you're mixing in it and you're creating, and that's like you're not used to how it sounds or anything, and like it just sounded terrible.
Which is how you know you're really a producer, because you hate your own music.
But like I thought I loved the song, and then I came back to it and I was able to like, and then suddenly the studio was like really serving me because I got better speakers, and it was just like interestingly tied into like me moving into this space. So
that's exciting.
I think it's kind of special to me because of that, and it's about like when I was a little kid, I would like fly on an airplane. I would look at the clouds and they'd look so fluffy, and I'd be like, I just want to take some and put it in a jar and take it home, and then I'll just have it, and maybe I'll poke it sometime.
A very relatable sentiment, I have to say.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I know it's really unfortunate that if you touch a cloud, it's just gonna feel kind of like vapor.
It's not even gonna be there. Like the closer you get to them, they don't even look like
I
clouds
didn't
anymore.
even see them. It's like I should be able to lick that, and it should be sugary. Why isn't it? What's that about? Oh, and shout out your label Spells, right? I didn't even get to ask you about starting a label. I imagine because you wanted to just put your own music out there into the world.
Yeah, yeah, and I switched to Labelworks, the distributor that they kind of operate like as if everyone has their own label.
Oh, cool.
And so you have to create your own label to be a part of it, and so yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe at some point I can release other stuff on there and do. I like the idea of maybe doing that one day.
I love the name.
Thank you.
I just think it's
Me
so
too.
fun. Yeah.
I don't think there's another label called that too. So I was like, sick.
Yeah, I haven't heard of one. I think it's great. And it kind of fits this fun, like, there's a whimsical vibe happening with Starya, I feel. And so Spells is kind of like, yes, I put a spell on you. It's this track. There you go.
I love fantasy. I love magic. Like, that's my favorite world.
Have you ever been to the Magic Castle?
No.
You gotta go.
It's on my list.
I was just talking about it with a friend of mine. Might come out to LA later this year. Might try to go to the Magic Castle.
Ooh,
and
nice.
Yeah, maybe I'll let you know.
Please. I would love to know if you come to LA.
Yeah. Oh, well, I am coming to LA at the end of May, kind of like May 20th. I'm going to Cruel World Festival. Have you heard of that?
I think you might have mentioned it.
Oh, I might have.
I don't.
Yeah, it's like basically a goth music festival.
Oh yeah.
And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
And Nintendo World. Right?
Yes, and Nintendo World. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be out there. I'll hit you up if you're playing. I want to come see you. I also appreciate that you've been drinking out of a goblet this whole time.
Thank you.
Fucking goblet vibes are immaculate.
Goblets are great.
They are.
Damn, I should have got my other goblet. I have a better goblet.
An even better goblet?
Yeah.
You'll just, you know what? You'll have to save it. And you'll have to come on Catcalls at the end of the year when I've got baby weight. You can come be our guest and you can drink out of your greater goblet then.
Okay, I will. It's a deal. I'll do that.
Thank you
for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. This was such a pleasure. And anything else you want to shout out? You already said no, but anything else? Last call.
Just go listen to my music. I guess I have a side project called Foxy Panic, and we're putting a song out, I think, next week.
Foxy Panic? I didn't even realize. I didn't even have. We'll have to talk about it later. You'll have to come back.
Yeah. Well, we have a track coming out next week.
What is it called?
It's called Sicko.
I'm insulted and impressed. I can't wait. Foxy Panic Sicko. Fuck yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go dig into Foxy Panic. Everyone, Sword and Strike wants to know if you're coming to Portola this year, Starya.
Oh, I wish. That sounds like fun. I'd love to.
We'll all have to manifest Starya getting booked for Portola so she can come and make money at the same time.
Yes. Help me manifest that. I love that.
Well, maybe I'll see you out in LA. Definitely see you on the internet. And gonna call you in at the end of the year as well. I mean, you and Baby Wait. Gonna wait for that collab to come out and gonna check out the stream. You still doing your Power Hour stream every day?
No.
Okay, well then I won't be coming in to tune into that.
I kind of do that on like a random basis now. But yeah.
I will, next time it happens, I'll tune in. I'll tune in for the Power Hour.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'll see ya. Bye.